Hey guys, this is Max. I'm the CEO and founder of Winding Tree, and I'm really looking forward to today's conversations that we're going to have about all those questions that you submitted. And first of all, it's been a crazy week. Last week, we've done so much, and I'm going to share all of those updates with you in just a few seconds. But what I wanted to say first and foremost is that thank you for your continued support. It really means a lot to us that our partners and our community members and lots of other people keep reaching out to us and supporting us in all sorts of different ways. And we're really, really grateful for this. We have a mission, and it's really grateful to see that our vision is shared by so many developers and hoteliers and airline people. It's absolutely amazing. So a crazy week in Ethereum space, crazy week in blockchain space, and a lot's been done on the Winding Tree marketplace as well. So we will be releasing this week all these features that we worked on last week. And I'm going to give you a few teasers. First of all, we were really trying to improve the sign-up flow for the Winding Tree marketplace, and a lot of people, especially in the travel space, who come to the marketplace, they don't quite understand what MetaMask is, why do you need a blockchain and stuff like that. And we thought about our corporate partners, which don't necessarily have the ability to install third-party extensions in their browsers if they're at work. So for example, they cannot install MetaMask, and that's why we integrated Portus, which is another wallet where you can log in and sign up just using normally just logging and password, right? But then we thought, okay, so a travel person who is not very savvy in the blockchain space and in MetaMask and all these different wallets and keys and stuff like that, they don't know about it. But now we're telling them, hey, you have to go and buy Ether in order to save the information about your company on the blockchain. That's another barrier, right? So we are actually, we have implemented a feature that allows people to just pay with credit card for gas fees for the transaction on the platform. Obviously, it's just gas fees because we're not taking any other fees, and anyone and everyone should be able to accept this. And really, really good news about the security audit that we're talking about last time. Everything is positive. All the tests that a company that we hired, that they performed came positive. There are a few issues here and there. Of course, no one's perfect, but we've pretty much fixed all of those issues. And this week, we will finally be releasing Glider, the first open source OTA. Awesome. Really, the world's first open source OTA. That sounds cool. But anyway, we are working towards this crazy idea that we should start accepting crypto on our marketplace. Crazy, I know, right? For travel people, maybe. For us, not really. So on Glider and some other ways, we will be accepting crypto payments. So a lot of stuff is going on there. And guys, we are, I cannot say almost done, but we're very close to implementing Clearus directories. I don't know. It's a Greek word anyway. I don't speak Greek. So it's gonna be much more streamlined for companies to prove to each other that they're legit companies and do business right away. So that's the whole idea about this marketplace, right? Of course, we have, as you know, a few different layers and levels of those proofs. But Clearus is such a cool concept, and we're really looking forward to have it on the platform. And we're constantly adding new players. I personally talk to people every day, to different companies, and we keep educating the travel industry about about crypto, about why stuff needs to be done in this particular way and not in a centralized way. And again, those conversations are absolutely amazing. People call me and they're like, dude, we get it. Let's do it. What do we need to do? What is blockchain anyway? Some cases. But yeah, people are very weary of intermediaries and the fees that they're taking. Basically, they're on the same page. They just need to learn a little bit about technology. Travel people, I'm looking at you. Send us an email anytime. Call us if you have our numbers. If you have my numbers, send me a message. If you have my email, it's max@windingtree.com. Send me an email asking about what this whole thing, and we'll be happy to talk to you. And we're here for you. Let's do it. This is the perfect time to do this. A lot of companies that I talk to, they're saying, okay, we do have a downturn in terms of travel, but this is the perfect timing. We can work on improving the infrastructure, just trying to do something instead of doing absolutely nothing. And guys, we're starting another very, very cool project that's going to be open source. Hopefully in a couple of months. I'm not going to give out any timelines yet. It's called Rooms. I'm not going to say anything else about that project, but man, it's so exciting. And yeah, we're going to help a lot of hotels there. But anyway, back to your questions, and thank you for submitting all of that stuff. It just, again, shows the continuous interest in our platform. And I have quite a few questions. And as far as I understand, we've filtered out all the questions that were asked last time. So there is a lot of repetitions and people keep asking the same questions. The previous AMA is on YouTube, so you can always go there and just rewatch it as many times as you need. If something isn't clear, again, just reach out to us and we'll help you out. Did I miss anything? I'm gonna open the chat over here where my colleagues are helping me with this. Very cool. All right. Anyway, continuing. Hold on. Perfect. So question number one, have you given any thought as to the value of LIF that a user of the protocol would have to purchase in order to have a trustworthy stake? Hotels range from hundreds of properties and down to just one individual hotel. If the stake value of LIF is too low, then could the protocol be compromised because the price does not dissuade bad actors? So we will be using LIF in a few different places. So one of the places that this person is talking about, could we have actually names of people who are asking those questions? I would really like to address like something like Michael is asking something. But anyway, LIF will be used in a few different places. One of those places is to just prove a player, a company, or an individual who's submitting the information about their company has to prove that they're not a spammer. And in some ways, or definitely a few days ago, Ether was taking very, very good care of that problem because the gas fee was too high. So I don't know, deploying Aragon smart contracts was $1,500 or something crazy like that. Deploying an organization, basically creating a record in the org ID smart contract was costing about $50 or something like that, which is high enough to provide spam protection. But again, in the future, hopefully Ethereum will scale quite nicely, and there are all sorts of layer 2 protocols right now that we're looking into integrating with, which basically would mean that you will be, those transactions will be very cheap, right? But we're saying we're going to put almost an artificial limitation here where, a company that's trying to prove, first of all, that they're not a spammer, that they didn't create 1,000 accounts, well, submit a small amount of LIF. Let's say $100 if you're creating a company, creating an organizational account. And again, this is a stake. You know, we're not taking that fee. This is not a fee. You can take it away anytime you want, but of course, the community will see that you're taking it out, and so maybe you're trying to do something shady. So the idea that I see here is that, let's say today you bought $100 worth of LIF in order to prove that you're not a spammer, that you legitimately created an account for your company, for your organization. All right, so that amount, let's say it's 1,000 LIF, right? Number just from the top of my head. So you have 1,000 LIF in a smart contract. The value of LIF, that's our goal, that's the goal of our community, that's the goal of our team, will go up eventually, right? So therefore, let's say 1,000 LIF will cost $1,000, maybe $10,000, maybe even more, hopefully even more. And I think we'll have to implement some sort of mechanism where you will be able to extract some of that LIF back to you without necessarily compromising the integrity of your company account. So basically you are saving your LIF for later and benefiting from that along the way. So that's how I see that it's going to be. So no, the stake value of LIF is not going to be too low, as that person asked, and I don't see any potential breaches of the protocol here. So we should prevent bad actors from doing anything crazy by having this mechanism and a few other mechanisms, of course, on the platform. So that was question number one. Question number two, Rich is asking, in order to potentially speed up onboarding of OTAs and adding more inventory, would you consider working with a business that approaches smaller OTAs and inventory suppliers with the aim to get them to join the network? Great question. And we have to have this somewhere on the website, like on the very top, like everyone has to understand this. We cannot prevent anyone from joining the platform. If you are a legitimate company, a legitimate business that does something, and it's a valuable service, if you, as some sort of meta OTA, connect to a bunch of OTAs that connect to a bunch of hotels, if it's really hard for, let's say, the end user to go directly to the hotel or to this first level of OTAs, and you provide a valuable service of creating liquidity on the market, go ahead and do that. And again, the beauty of this is that we cannot stop you from doing that. So join the platform. Do you have an API? Showcase that API so others can access it. And if then, people realize that, well, they can bypass you as an intermediary and connect to the hotel directly, perhaps. Therefore, you maybe are not doing a good job of providing valuable service. And this whole platform is all about removing rent-seeking intermediaries. It's not necessarily removing all the intermediaries, right? We're not removing OTAs. People will still go to OTAs, and OTA is, in a way, an intermediary, but they provide a valuable service, whether it's, I don't know, packaging the whole trip, flight tickets and hotels and insurance and all that stuff into one and giving it to you as one single product. That's a valuable service. And yeah, you probably should pay for it. It's great. Or if you don't want to, please do construct your trip little by little like this. That's also possible. It should be possible for you to do. So we're removing rent-seeking intermediaries. If you're providing a valuable service, or maybe you're not providing a valuable service right now, but there is no other way, we cannot stop you from joining the platform. That's the beauty of it. We don't control it. It's a smart contract on the Ethereum blockchain. So go ahead and do that. But yeah, if you have any doubts, send us an email. It's hi@windingtree.com or max@windingtree.com. Feel free to reach out and let's talk about it. Let's talk about your business model. It's cool. Number 3, the question is from Christian. What will be the difference between companies that already onboarded without staking and those which will onboard after audit of the code has been performed and therefore the staking smart contract will be implemented? Well, those first companies will have to submit the stake at some point, that's for sure. And again, we'll be sending them emails and stuff, notifying them about it. But yeah, all companies in our smart contract are equal. So there is no preferential treatment. We are grateful and we're helping quite a bit, again, talking to those companies that have already joined the platform. We have calls with them, we're helping them, we're explaining things to them. So, well, in a sense, they have a preferential treatment in that regard, but other than that, there's no preferential treatment for some companies on the platform. We cannot even do that. It's not us who's telling you, hey, these companies are good and these companies are bad. It's the code that's telling you that, or rather, it's you yourself who should be able to decide, okay, this company is bad because they have this, or don't have something, don't have the lift stake, don't have their website linked or something like that. And this company is good and I want to do business with them because they provided all this information to me for me to be able to make an educated decision. So yeah, complete meritocracy. From Michek or Mihek, if they're from Europe somewhere. What would be the difference between the platform now and the situation when the DAO will be up and running, or DAO? What functionality will be added on top of the platform? So we have super awesome plans for this. And man, I really want this to be done already, but it takes time and it's, baby steps, well, not baby anymore. We're really making really serious strides towards that vision of the DAO. So imagine this. We have a smart contract, which is basically a database of travel companies. The smart contract code has to be updated several times a year, probably. Well, therefore, there should be someone, a group of people, not one person, not two, but a group of people that will be deciding how that will be done. And that's where the DAO comes into place. The DAO, the goal of the DAO will be to oversee the changes to the platform, and not just oversee, approve or disapprove those changes to the platform. So this is a democracy. That's one of our innovations, a new type of organization where customers of the platform are the actual stakeholders, right? Stakeholders that actually control the platform. And the way it's going to work is that all the organizations that have verified, that reached a certain level of verification on the platform, including the lift stake, including the clearance directories and stuff like that, they will receive a special governance token. And probably this is the first time I talk about it, but we have a quite a solid plan about how to do that. There will be another token that you will have to stake live to obtain that token. And that token will be just one per company, or maybe 10 if we are going to implement something like quadratic voting or something like that. It doesn't really matter. What matters is each company, not a person, not an Ethereum account, each verified company on the platform will receive a certain number of governance tokens that they will be able to use in order to change the smart contract rules or fix some bugs or something like that, to approve any changes that will be proposed by people who are looking at our open source code, right? And they will be able to change the Cluris directory rules, for example. We decided that the hotel directory, I don't know, certain requirements should be removed, others should be added and stuff like that. So that would be the task of the DAO, or rather of the community of governance token holders. So yeah, DAO will be doing that kind of stuff. Again, in the spirit of complete decentralization, because, and we write about it on our developer portal and on GitHub, that as of now, our multisig actually owns the smart contract, but we want to detach us from that smart contract completely, right? And make the DAO the owner of that smart contract. That's the goal. From Ellie. You are collaborating with big airlines and hotels. They are your target business users. If you check 90% of their websites, they will see loyalty bonus programs mentioned somewhere. They all have digital bonus programs for customers. Why not migrate all that bonus points logic to blockchain, make it provable, verifiable, and efficient to distribute to each user? Your platform could offer contracts for loyalty points. Will you consider building loyalty points features into Lyft? So let me answer the first part of it. So why not move some of the loyalty program functionality onto a blockchain? I had really interesting arguments and conversations with our hotel partners and airline partners. I personally, and I think I even maybe wrote an article about that a while back. So I don't see loyalty points on the blockchain as of now. If you are one single company that is issuing those tokens and you cannot convert it to anything else, and you will only use those tokens or those points or miles with that same company, what are you trying to solve here with the blockchain? You're trying to, I mean, the only company that you're interfacing here with is that company, and therefore they could just have a database on their own server. And they can make a record on their end that you have a certain number of miles or something like that. You don't really need public blockchain here. I mean, you could use it on a private blockchain or something like that. It becomes more interesting when there are more players that are involved. A few different companies and their different tokens could be interchangeable. And I've talked to a few people about this, about how, I don't know, I got a whole bunch of miles from United, for example, but I don't need airline miles or tokens today. I need fridge tokens because I want to buy a fridge. So I take my airline tokens and exchange them to fridge tokens, and therefore I get some sort of discount when I buy a fridge from Best Buy. This is very interesting, but the problem here is not, it's not a technology problem. We could do that very easily, but it's a coordination problem. How do you now make all of those companies that have their own infrastructure, their own miles and tokens and all of those things already installed and implemented? I know that Air Canada, they just spent something like $1 billion redoing and reshaping their airline program, airline loyalty program. It's a lot of money, so I can only imagine what kind of infrastructure they have in place. And it's not about technology. It's all about marketing. It's about convincing people to use those tokens and receive those tokens, and about those people coming back to the same company again. It's not a technology problem. I don't see it like that. It really becomes a lot more interesting when those miles and those tokens are completely liquid, right? So if I bought a ticket on an airline, and instead of giving me some silly, miles and stuff, they're like, okay, here's $100, or what? I don't know, $10, right? that token, namely the United States dollar, I can spend anywhere at any time, right? So it becomes interesting. So I can use it not just, again, with that same company, but for something else. So I think there are interesting business models that are possible here, and we're definitely thinking about using LIF in that regard. On our platform on Glider, for example, you would buy, I don't know, a hotel room or an airline ticket directly from an airline or hotel, and we would give you a small amount of LIF tokens, right? As a reward, let's say 1%, that's the average, the industry average, I guess. But if you really go direct, and we know when you go direct to that airline, we would give you not 1%, but 2 or 3%, or maybe, I don't know, 5 or something like that. So you can come back again and use the same LIF tokens on your travel purchases, or maybe you could just, sell it on an exchange or something like that. So there are some interesting business models there. If it's not just, if that token does not bind you directly to just one company. All right. So Tom is asking, are you strong in your commitment to build on Ethereum and not another blockchain? Ethereum is very congested always, high fees. Nobody knows how the migration to Ethereum 2.0 will end up. Could you analyze a new blockchain protocol and select a new base layer for LIF? Well, it's not just about LIF. It's not just about the token. It's also about all sorts of different smart contracts. We're looking into this pretty awesome solutions, guys. Check it out. It's called ZK Sync. They already have layer 2 for Ethereum transactions and for DAI. I think for pretty much any ERC20 token. I could be mistaken, but check it out. It's called ZK Sync. Literally ZKCSYNC.io, probably. So they're already scaling Ethereum transactions, and it's very cheap to send it on layer 2 using that protocol, chain, project, solution. And they're working on smart contracts. So basically, they will have smart contract functionality using that layer 2 solutions. And as far as I understand, it's super quick, it's very cheap, and it's anonymous because they use zero knowledge proofs in some crazy way. I don't know how it works, but apparently it's magical, or even better than that. In terms of choosing another blockchain, well, Ethereum, it's not just about the technology, it's also about the community. And Ethereum has the best community and the best support, and it's growing. And again, people like ZK Sync creating this amazing advances in the Ethereum space. What other blockchain can offer that? If you have a proposal for us, send me an email. It's max@windingtree.com. We'll definitely take a look at it. We are curious about tech, blockchains, and all of those things. Just don't send me any sushi coins. Number 7, Sam is asking, can you make a short demo clip and put it on your YouTube about how Glider will work for Winding Tree users? We are working on that. We're working on stabilizing our interfaces right now. So because again, we're adding so much stuff all the time, and the video that we would make in 1 week or 2 weeks will be completely obsolete. I'm okay, not completely, but we would have so much more in terms of our interfaces, then we would need to redo the video once again. Videos will be coming for sure. And a lot of people are asking us, hey, it would be so much easier if you explained it in video, how to do this, why you need to do that. Completely agree, completely agree. But I just don't want to be making videos every day. And that's the only thing that stops us. So as long as we hit like a more stable streak, then we'll do it. So hope I'm answering a question. Yes, I did. From Is that the same person asking another question again? Number 8 from Ellie or Eli, but there's a double L, so it's Ellie probably. When can people expect your public launch of the platform? By launch, I mean, when do you expect people being able to buy a flight ticket through your platform? I know that there are many parties involved, but can you give me any rough estimation of a timeline? I hope I'm doing a good impression of Ellie. Well, you can already buy a ticket. If you go to Glider.Travel, this is our open source OTA, the world's first open source OTA. You can buy a ticket there. Check it out. There's not a lot of, we're adding quite a bit of airlines there, by the way, and hotels and all that stuff. But right now we have hotels in Scandinavia, like in Stockholm, in Oslo. We have Air Canada. So if you want to fly, if you want to buy tickets within Canada right now, you can go to Glider.Travel and buy a ticket. And there will be quite a bit more stuff very soon. Guys, Spencer and Matthew, when are we adding? I think they said about 2 weeks. There will be a lot more stuff. And guys, so we said 2 weeks, so it has to be 2 weeks, okay? All right, I'll make sure it's 2 weeks exactly. So next question from team number 9. You have so many enterprise collaborations, but how confident are you really that they will at some point use your technology? There are big, powerful intermediaries currently who route tickets between companies and end customers, and these intermediaries have big financial stakes and they can influence the airlines not to use your platform. How do you see this power game and how would you overcome this? Really, really good question. We're already, some of our partners are already very openly saying, we don't want this. We want to move on from the status quo, like Lufthansa, you know, that again, very openly, what was the year? Probably 2017, that they first said that they just refused to pay the 16 euro and they will be charging it on top of the ticket that person is buying. The ticket is coming through a GDS. So basically they were encouraging people to buy direct and stuff like that. So quite a bit of companies, you would be surprised, are openly fighting against this big, powerful intermediaries you're talking about. So, and it's not just Lufthansa. I mean, no one likes the situation where, you know, some company just because can charge you quite a bit of money. And partly that's why the NDC, if we're talking about the airline industry, that's why the NDC standard was created. And yeah, it's getting quite, it's getting adopted by many airlines. And again, those airlines are allowing you to connect directly to their NDC API, book the ticket directly, not through a GDS, and therefore bypassing the fees and bypassing all sorts of crazy things that happen in between when those intermediaries are involved. So yeah, no, I feel quite positive about this. And if we're talking about hotels and Expedia Priceline duopoly, for example, again, there are so many hotels out there that we can reach out to and we can offer a completely new channel. The problem I see is that some of those companies, especially in the hotel space, have price parity contracts. But again, the good news, which is not really news, that in Europe, for example, price parity agreements are forbidden. Not everywhere in Europe, in some parts, in some countries. In some other countries, they're frowned upon. And I don't know, of course, not countries, but continents like Latin America, where they don't have laws like we have here in Europe, they're suffering from that quite a bit. But we'll see. We will dismantle this little by little, brick by brick. We'll do it. I mean, what else can we do? And if you guys can help us in any way, that would be amazing. And by helping, you can share news about our project. You can talk to hotels that you're staying with, or airlines that you're flying with, or whoever. Tell your friends about us. And that's how we're going to do it, to make travel great again. Hopefully not, if you know what I mean. Okay, so Jelmer is asking, last AMA had a question about a dashboard showing some statistics. Have you done anything with that already? I think it would be really cool. It's a really, really good question. So if you go to marketplace.windingtree.com, there, I cannot say it's a dashboard. Some sort of, there is a number of companies, let's say, that's already listed. And if you go to certain directories, there will be a number of companies and stuff like that. But we thought about it. How about you tell us what you want to see on that dashboard? If you're saying it's really cool. Again, this project is open source. Come on, people, let's start contributing to this. All right. If you think that there should be a dashboard, let's do it. Let's create it. And again, you don't have to code. You can just tell us what you want to see there. I'm sure the marketplace source code is open source, and therefore, I don't know, go there, create a page, or create a pull request and say, hey, I want to see this on dashboard. Let's do it. Yeah, that's how you can support a project. You don't have to be a coder. You can just have great ideas, or you can make great designs, or you can just tell everyone about our project. That's it. If you're coding, it's even better. Okay. There's another question that's coming from Max. How's the travel industry doing as a whole at this point? Do you see a recovery happening? Do you see new opportunities in the space happening as well? We do see, I was looking at some graphs and reports very recently, there is an uptick. There is definitely a positive tendency in terms of travel industry recovering. I think this will continue for some time. I don't know what we can do about it. Definitely, it's not in our power. We just don't know what to expect, how the virus will mutate, what winter is going to do to this whole situation. Opportunity for sure, because again, as many companies are saying that we're talking to now, it's a downtime. Let's talk about improving the infrastructure. So that's the opportunity that I see. Slowly but steadily, I think we'll get back on track. I don't know. Some people say it's going to be in a year. Some people say it's going to be in a couple of years. Who knows? I really don't know. Anyway, David is asking, is there a reason why partners have not connected to the platform yet? Some of them have connected, some of them didn't connect, and each of those partners have their own reasons. One of the reasons we just talked about, it's COVID. Some companies said, hey, we just fired everyone, so see you next year, or we fired our innovation team or something like that. So COVID is definitely creating some problems for us. Some other companies, it's a problem. If there's a big company, for example, they usually take a very, very long time to make any sort of decision. So that's happening. Then there's a small company, and maybe they are able to make a decision very, very quickly, but they don't have the resources because they're tiny. Each company has their own reasons for integrating or not integrating, but we're doing everything that's in our power to address all of their individual concerns and problems and troubles. And guys, we are, one of our business models is consultancy. So travel companies that are watching this, if you don't know how to integrate, how to solve something, how to understand what blockchain is about, what Winding Tree is about, call us. Send us an email and let's discuss, let's educate each other. And if you want to hire our special division for integrations and or any other projects, we can help you out. Let's do it. The next question is from Jezer. Do you plan to market Glider more in the future? Not to the scale of other Glider.Travel projects, but how much do you see Glider panning out in the long term? So Glider as a product is not an OTA. Don't get me wrong, Glider is an OTA, but that's not our product. We created Glider not to make money as an OTA necessarily. We could do that, and that's on the table, and we're looking into that, and this is very interesting. But first and foremost, Glider is, as a product, is just an example, that an open source example of how OTAs can be built on top of Winding Tree. So that's the product. It's an example that we're giving to the world for free. And again, Glider contains a bunch of different modules that are useful on their own without even Winding Tree, and the modules for translating different travel formats into each other and stuff like that. So again, you can use it even without Winding Tree. But we have good plans for Glider. Glider is awesome, and I'm very excited about this week, about making it open source finally after all those security hurdles. So it's going to be awesome. Mohammed is asking, at any point, do you see GDSs or other similar entities trying to retaliate against your mission of an intermediary-less travel industry? How do you anticipate dealing with that if it occurs? You know, we kind of feel that already. Some companies that we talked to in the past, and I think there were some artificial barriers that were created for our progress, but that's fine. I mean, how can you fight a completely decentralized project? How can you fight the internet? And that's why we decided to do it in a completely decentralized way. You know, it's a great story that, I don't know, back in the day when we're starting the project and we were going to a whole bunch of different conferences, and I kept repeating that story about HTTP and the Gopher protocol. Gopher was much, much more popular than HTTP. That was just coming out, and Gopher had already, you know, a really impressive user base. But the moment Gopher said, you know, hey, you will need to purchase a license to use the software, it died out almost instantly. And that's what actually gave boost to the HTTP as completely open, decentralized protocol. So that's the beauty of this approach. You cannot fight it. Yeah, so I think that's our superpower. It's very hard to fight against something that's distributed like Ethereum or Bitcoin. Melanie is asking, at any point do you see end users being able to participate in the DAO? Maybe you would just want to have input on features or things that Glider.Travel can do. Would that be a possibility? Wow. This is a really good question, and I thought about it, and we should do that, absolutely. So users, or travelers rather, are stakeholders, absolutely, and they should be able to have input in the platform. How to do that? If you guys have any ideas, if you have, like we have, as I discussed a little bit earlier, so we have this governance token that all the verified travel companies are going to have, and they will be able to affect the DAO. But travelers should have a say as well. This is so true. This is so right. How to do that? I don't know yet, but this is an amazing idea. Thank you so much. One thing I'm going to say. So first of all, DAO is absolutely necessary to upgrade the smart contract. And in terms of Glider.Travel is open source, right? So even as a user, you should be able to suggest a change. And on Glider, and actually in Glider and otherwise, maybe the Winding Tree Marketplace as well, there should be a section where people who are not familiar with, GitHub and pull requests and stuff like that, they should be able to say, hey, I want such and such feature. And maybe there should be some sort of rating, thumbs up or thumbs down, and features that are upvoted. Maybe we'll just do it on Reddit. And the most upvoted feature will be implemented with urgency. And again, we don't even have to implement that feature if it's open source. Anyone will be able to do that. But of course, we'll be developing quite a bit of that stuff as well. But yeah, really good point. Travelers should have a say in how they travel. Absolutely right. Thank you, Melanie. Nick is saying, what can we do as a community to support you at this stage? If you can code, look at our stuff, see how you can improve it. Try create an account on the marketplace, try to play with the software, look at Glider, look how it works or doesn't work. If you're a coder, you're very welcome in our GitHub and pull request section especially. If you're not a coder, provide liquidity on Uniswap. If you have tokens, book travel on Glider. If you have other types of tokens like Euro and USD, talk about our project to your travel businesses, to the travel businesses that you know, share our stuff on social, share about our project, all that good stuff. If you're a designer, if you just have great ideas, come to our GitHub, come to our Telegram chat, and let's talk, let's discuss things, and let's move things forward. The only limit is yourself. Do you have any other questions? So this was question number 16. No, that's it. All right. So thank you, guys. Let me check Telegram real quick. Maybe there's something there. Yeah, go on Telegram. You can definitely talk about all sorts of things in our Telegram chat and propose ideas and argue with us. All right. Okay, no other questions in the chat, but we're going to host another AMA in about a month. Do you have a date, Spencer? While we're waiting for the date, I just want to say thank you to Rich, and Christian, and Michek, and Ellie, and Tom, and Sam, and Tim, and Jelmer, and Max, and David, and Jezer, and Mohammed, Melanie, and Nick, and the person that asked the first question, but we still don't know their name. Thank you so much. October 5th is going to be our next AMA. I'm really, really looking forward to the progress that we're going to do in the next month. We're going to have so much stuff to show you guys. But in the meantime, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. And if you're listening to this in recording and you have questions, reach out. Let's discuss things. Let's talk about it. Let's move this thing forward. Thank you so much, guys.